Sneakers and Fur Coats, the #1 podcast brought to you by Bo Skaggs, Jody P, and Bo Skaggs. It's wonderful. Sneakers and fur coats, 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 sneakers and fur coats. We got Jody P, sneakers and fur coats. They call me Bo Skaggs, sneakers and fur coats, sneakers and fur coats, sneakers and fur coats, sneakers and fur coats, sneakers and fur coats. True hip-hop, health, wealth, the Bible, conspiracies and everything else. We got sneakers and fur coats, sneakers and fur coats. Jody P, Bo Skaggs, sneakers and fur coats.
Your boy Bo Skaggs, and you are now listening to the #1 podcast on the internet, Sneakers and Fur Coats, with the #1 host on the internet. Make some noise for my girl, your girl, Jody P.
Hey, it's Jody P here with Bo Skaggs, and tonight we're going to be talking about the psychology of Cassie Ventura.
Wow.
Maybe we should really call this show The Case for Cassie Ventura, since her character is being called into question, almost as if she's the one on trial. It's getting kind of ugly, and we're only, 2 weeks in? We're at the end of our second week, and they're expecting this to be an 8-week trial. So there are a lot of witnesses that are going to be coming forward. One of which, Albie Shore claims he's going to be one.
Well, we know Albie Shore is gay. He's a faggot.
He's definitely gay. Albie Shore is definitely gay.
He definitely has sex with Diddy.
He's definitely a smaggot, and and he definitely had sex with Diddy because, how do we know this? Because
Kim Porter's book said
he claims Kim Porter's book is all true, except for the part about him having sex with Diddy.
Right. I mean, what man gives away their kid to another man?
Right.
I mean.
Right. And you want to know why he did that? I'm going to tell
Quincy.
you why he did that. It just hit me. Because Diddy recorded it.
Exactly.
Diddy recorded it.
Exactly.
Diddy recorded it and then blackmailed him, because this is his MO, and this is exactly what he does to everybody.
Right.
And this is how he dominates and controls them, literally and figuratively.
Right.
So that makes perfect sense, you know, and that's why he just faded away and let Diddy basically father his child. And I always wondered about that.
That is crazy
Yeah,
work.
I always wondered that, and no one ever talked about it. You know what I mean? It was weird.
It was weird that no one ever talked about it. And like to this day, Diddy says that Quincy is his son.
Right, but I've heard rumors that
that
he was grooming him and having sex with him, and that remains to be seen. But I definitely wouldn't put it past him. I mean, he's definitely capable. I mean, the types of things he's done, I mean, we already know. I mean, 2 of his sons, both Justin, Misa's kid, and also Christian, the one that looks like him, they both have cases against them right now.
Right.
For sex trafficking.
Right. So now let me ask you this: what's going on with Cassie? So Cassie is on. She took the stand. Mm-hmm. She had a lot of choice things to say about Diddy.
Right. She had a lot to say, and I mean, honestly, she's a very credible witness. She's been handling it very well, and she's been very, very transparent, even on things that make her look bad. She just says, yes, it's true. You know, things that they've asked her, they'll ask her very pointed questions about very embarrassing, humiliating things, and she admits it. And she's not trying to make Diddy look bad. Basically, Diddy just looks bad because of who he is and the things he's done.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that, I mean, the craziest thing that I've came across that I've heard Cassie say is that after a guy would ejaculate in her, she would then go into another room with Diddy.
Immediately, quickly, they'd have to rush into the other room.
And then she'd take the sperm out of her and rub it on Diddy's chest, on his nipples.
Right, out of her body. It's so vile.
Which is crazy.
It's so disgusting, but you know what? It now makes more sense. I heard that is part of a demonic religion. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's one word. And it was one of their rituals. And that makes perfect sense to me because, you know, I'm wondering if more is going to come out about, you know, the sex magic that he was practicing. And basically the religion he was practicing was a sex magic religion. And it's very demonic and it's very common. I mean,
at some point, Cassie had to enjoy the freak offs. At some point, she had to be.
Well, before we get to that part, let's discuss how Cassie obviously knew about the demonic things that were going on. I mean, other people mentioned it as well. It wasn't just her. You know, actually, she didn't mention it. And, you know, I'm wondering why she didn't, or if maybe they've been paid by others to not discuss those things, because clearly that would implicate a lot of other people, you know, and they don't want to go that deep, and they want to keep that secret hidden, because that is like, you know, that's very unattractive to the public and everybody's involved. You know what I'm saying? It's not just a couple people.
Now, what demonic things were what demonic things were being said? Like,
you know, I can't really remember now, but like I did hear several people's testimonies, and not just testimonies. I've heard people like mention that the rituals that were going on, and that they were, I'm trying to remember, what was it? It was something, definitely things to do with blood, and that he was obtaining power. Like, for example, this is just one example. Kim Porter said that he was into Santeria, and she was like so surprised. Now, I wonder if she was hiding a lot in her book, because it's knowing that there are much higher up people involved in that as well. You know what I mean? And she was afraid to really go into it, but she acted like it was so off the wall. And she was like, what is this? This is just too weird. But then she went on to say how, and this is very graphic and vulgar, so excuse me for mentioning it, but it's pertinent to the story, that when she was 9 months pregnant with both Christian and the twins, the time when she was pregnant with the twins, she'd already done something else with Christian, but when she was pregnant with the twins, he came to her at 9 months pregnant and told her he wanted her to do a gangbang. And she did it. And he wanted her to do a gangbang because he would get power from that ritual. That's from crazy. That. I mean, that is so demonic, because, that, you know, the crazy. Lord loves the children. And that is a divine, you know, he breathed the breath of life into that cell. The spark of light comes during conception, because the Holy Spirit is present during conception.
Now, every time I look at Diddy now, I just see this is super creep.
Yeah, he's so disgusting.
I was just looking at this video with Cassie, like when she just first started, and I guess she was with Ryan Leslie at first, and so she was playing a song for Diddy, and he just had like this creepy vibe about him, like while he was listening to the song, like he's a straight creep.
Yeah. Well, just like how she's on the stand and he's still trying to manipulate her, like putting his hands into like a heart shape, you know, like
he's a lunatic.
You know, meanwhile, she's like, you know, sobbing. So he's like giving the heart, because he knows how to manipulate her. He's been doing it since she was 19 years old.
Yeah, he's a lunatic.
You know, I mean, imagine this. She came to New York City from New London, Connecticut. This is not Stamford. This is not, you know, the close to the city part. This is like, you know, far away, where they're very far removed from what goes on in the city. And she was a very innocent girl, you know, that came from a very traditional family, well raised, educated, and came to New York City because she wanted to be a star. And she was a very pretty girl, so she was modeling.
Right.
And then, Ryan Leslie discovered her, Tommy Mottola discovered her, and then unfortunately Diddy discovered her and signed her.
Now, is it true that Diddy signed her to a 10-album deal and she got one
I
album?
believe it was a 10-year, 10-album deal,
That's
and she only got
crazy.
one because he kept putting it off and kept shelving it and kept saying, no, we're not putting that, because he was hating. Like, he didn't want her to be a star.
Right.
He wanted to
crazy.
manipulate her. He didn't want her out there. And he would hang it over her head to keep her doing the freak offs. And that's part of the reason that she stayed. And, you could say you can't put a price on your soul, but at that point, she'd already been doing it. She'd already defiled herself. She'd already formed this severe trauma bond with this person that would beat her up constantly. You know what I'm saying? And like threaten to show videos to people. I mean, she was saying how finally once she got away and she just decided to take a commercial flight back. She didn't even care. She just wanted out of there. This was after he kicked her off the yacht and kept her passport.
Man, he was doing so much bad stuff to her, man. But this is what I'm saying. Like, how do you stay with, it sounds like, how long were they together?
They were together 11 years.
All right. So 11 years. So it sounds like they might only had like 2 or 3 good ones. And then the rest was
I suspect it was like 6
domestic
months.
Violence.
I suspect there were like 6 good months.
6 good months.
Yes.
So not even years. 6 good months.
That's the way it works with narcissists. You're
So
never
6
going to
good
get more
months,
than that.
and
Maybe
then-
a year, maybe 1 year. Not a chance it was more than a year.
So
Not
10
a chance.
years of domestic violence and freak-offs.
Yes. But you have to understand, they got together on her 21st birthday. Like, he really wooed her. He brought Britney Spears, all these people that, were like larger than life superstars at the time. And, she was just so impressionable, so young, so insecure, as every single 21-year-old girl on the planet is. You know what I mean?
But 10 years of freak-offs?
But let's set the stage here. Diddy is larger than life.
Right.
He's rich. He's famous. He's flashy. He has such charisma.
Right.
Everyone always says that about Diddy. I didn't feel that way when I met him, but at least on TV, he has a ton of charisma, right? In the public eye, he has a ton of charisma. But, and then he's set his mind on her. Like, he had an obsession with her. He decided he had to have her. He's flying her on private jets. He's throwing her huge parties. And, so that was how he wooed her, how he got her. And she even says the first time she kissed him was at her party and she didn't want to kiss him. And he kissed her and she ran back to her room crying. This is like what a young girl she was. She was so uncomfortable and she was so worried about how that was going to affect her future. And she didn't even want it to happen. She said she wasn't even really attracted to Diddy like that. But then, he got her involved and lured her into this stuff. And then, she started to like him because she was having sex with him. And, women give off the bonding pheromone during sexual intercourse. I think it's 79% more than men do. So, even a man, if he sleeps with someone enough times, he's even going to have feelings, even the most hardest person. But females, we're built differently.
So after all of those years of domestic violence, when do you call it quits? After so many beatdowns, and because the one beatdown that we seen on the, in the hotel hallway, that couldn't have been the first one.
No.
It definitely was more beatdowns than that. So when do you actually when do you get away? Do you just stay? What is it that kept her? Is love really what kept her there? Or is it money? Is it just the thought of her being able to release albums? After 3 or 4 years, you kind of know your album's never coming out. So you kind of get the gist that your album's never coming out.
You don't know that. First of all, when you're a young girl, okay, first of all, any woman who's ever been in a relationship with a narcissist would be able to relate to this. And there's quite a few. it's the dream that dies slow, right? So you meet a person, you fall in love with them, you fall in love with the person they have presented and who you believe them to be.
Right.
You don't fall in love with reality because they didn't show you reality. They show you reality later, and then you're thinking, this can't be the real person. You're thinking the real person's going to come back soon once they realize how much you love them, or they're going to come back soon once they realize they don't need to be jealous and you'll never cheat on them, or they'll come back once, you know, at some point when they are done sleeping with 800 girls. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
I mean, but I get that. I understand that that angle, right? But in Cassie's case, it's a little bit different because it was, all right, he sold her the dream, and then it turned dark like really quickly. Like now you having sex with multiple different people. You doing, people are watching you. You know what I mean? You getting drugged. You on drugs. Like all of these different things start to happen. Like when do you say like, this is something that you want to walk away from? Like when do you call it quits? Like do you keep believing that this dream is ever going to happen? Like you don't keep believing that the dream is going to happen. Like at some point,
yes, but you're thinking very rationally. You have to understand.
Yeah, at some point you think it's over.
Right, but you don't really understand it. You're not really acknowledging that there was a very severe trauma bond here. So every time, you fall in love with this guy, he shows you this person that he is, that he's not, right? Shows you the person he is. You fall in love with that person, right? Then one day you get, first of all, he lures you into doing all these things that are like completely just outside of your boundaries, outside of what you think is right.
Right.
These are things that you do not want to do. But here's this person, he's, the whole world adores him. The whole world adores your man, right? Plus, let's not forget, he's simultaneously, just like all narcissists do, triangulating her. Because there's Kim Porter, there's J-Lo, there's, was J-Lo there yet? I don't know.
I don't know if she was there yet.
So there's J-Lo, definitely Kim Porter, and the other chick, the Asian girl, the real dumb one she's supposed to be testifying. We'll see if she shows up.
Kimora?
No, not Kimora. No, the girl that he was sleeping with.
I don't know these thoughts.
I forget her name. She's not important.
Know these thotties.
Right, she's a thottie for sure, and she's the one that the girl was saying. He was like, they were seeing each other for like all these years, and she still lived in an apartment in LA with carpeting.
Right.
That was her. The one that came on Hot 97 one time and said how he was kicking her in the stomach and beating her up, but she still loved him.
Right. But I mean, I get that, right? But like I said, but when is the dream? When is the dream over? Is it it's
different for everybody.
This is my thing.
Okay, when I say the dream, you're like getting it confused with maybe the dream of your career. That was just a small piece of it.
I'm not talking about the dream of your career. I'm talking about the dream of this person being who you thought he was. Or,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's my point.
After he punches you in the face 3 times, you got to know that dream's over.
No, because every time now remember, you're not thinking rationally. You're thinking with your heart and your trauma bond, which is like deeply ingrained into your vagus nerve. So let's really be clear here. So every time he'd beat her up, then he'd like shower her with gifts, she said, and then tell her how much he loved her and he can't live without her and you're never getting away from me. You're always going to be with me because I love you. It's me and you forever. And that's all you wanted to hear.
And then
it'll happen again.
But then tonight, we're gonna call these couple of male prostitutes, and they're gonna pee in your mouth.
Right, that's so gross. But remember something.
I love you, but you're gonna get these. But male
remember
escorts
something.
To pee in
he
your
had
mouth
her saying she enjoyed it, but she was always jealous of the other girls, and he would always be like, well, I'm just going to replace you. She didn't want to get replaced, so it would hurt her more.
This is what I'm saying.
But wait a second. It would hurt her more to see him with somebody else than to continue doing these vile things that she didn't want to do.
So it would hurt her more to know that she don't have to get her mouth peed in anymore.
All right, but let's also not forget something here. She was drugged up the entire time. That was also, he got her on opioids. He got her addicted to drugs. She had to go to rehab. But also, most importantly, let us not forget the story that I didn't get to finish was that she said, I'm out of here. I have to leave this person. I have to get away from him. So she left and she got on a commercial bought a commercial seat on a flight. It's about to take off. Here he comes. She switched her seat to a economy or whatever.
Coach seat.
Yeah, coach. And he leaves and switches his seat so he could come sit next to her, brings his laptop and says, "You will never leave me because I will release these tapes." He showed her all these videos he had of her. He said, "I'll release these to the whole world. I'll start releasing them on Christmas Eve. The whole world will see these."
Okay, now at that point is when you got to get, the federales involved.
Yes, but you have to understand the federales were on his team because he'd already killed people and everybody knew about it. Everyone knew he killed Big. Everyone knew he killed Tupac. I'm saying industry people. I'm saying the inner circles. These rumors were huge. And you know this. So, and she heard the rumors. She might have been there. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like she might have been around when it was happening.
I mean,
so Biggie, Tupac, Kim Porter dies of pneumonia.
Like the thing
Porter dies of pneumonia like everyone else around him died.
But the thing that gets me is the pee, right? So this is the thing that gets me, right? It's the pee. Like, I don't even want a girl that I peed on. Like, if you ask me to like pee on you, I don't want to be with you no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if this is what's so sick. If you enjoy being peed on, you're not even the girl for me. Like you're not the girl for me. You know what I'm saying? And if you're my girl and then we get an escort and the escort pees on you in your mouth.
Ew.
Like I can't even look at you the same. I don't even want to be with you. Like
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
I can't even look at you the same way.
Right, but you are normal. You're normal. And you're more than normal. You're a regenerated man. You're a Holy Ghost man of God. You're saved.
I like the things that I like. With my girl, I like to do the things that I like to do. I'm a man, right? So men like things that they like to do. Right?
When you were not saved.
Right.
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 And the way you would like it to be.
I'm speaking
when you're
general
married.
about men.
Right, exactly.
Men like to do things that they like to do. Peeing on your girl is not one of those things. It's not a normal thing.
But he's not.
It's like, hey, babe, let's try something tonight. Like, what do you want to try? Oh, I got to use the bathroom.
Ew.
Like, do
disgusting.
you want to? I mean, but how do you stay with how do you enjoy that? That's what I'm saying. So,
this is what she was saying.
There's no amount of drugs in the world
but
that could make me
something.
Enjoy doing that to someone. So how can they enjoy it happening to them?
All right, well,
drugs?
let's paint a picture here. Cassie had constant sores inside of her mouth. She constant herpes sores inside of her mouth, all over the inside of her mouth. She also had friction sores in the creases of her mouth.
And she kept coming back.
She also had constant UTIs. This is not something someone enjoys.
But she
this
kept
is
coming
not
back
something because she was afraid.
Okay.
She was afraid. This is not what you're not grasping this. She was afraid. She's seen what happened to the other people. She knows what he's capable of. She's seen him. She said when he was beating him up beating her up, she saw his eyes go completely black.
Now, how does she make this last drastic escape that she did now? Because at some point, she did escape, right? So at some point, why couldn't that escape be earlier? It took her 10 years to get courage to run away. 11 years?
Yes.
13 years?
Absolutely. For some people, it takes longer. Some people it takes longer, but you have to also remember at the tail end, she met Alex Fine, her now husband, the guy she married, and he was her trainer, and he was there, and he would see her come in with black eyes all the time. Yeah, so he was a friend to her, and then she probably, he saw things, and she probably, we know she did. Confide in him, so she now had support. Because this is what in narcissistic relationships, they're always this way. They isolate you from everyone who cares about you.
Well, just for the record, I want to say that I'm on Cassie's side.
Right.
But this is just things that,
you're playing devil's advocate.
This is things that I see that people say online. Like, she was this, oh, she must have liked this. She stayed around this long. I honestly, when I look at Diddy and know the amount of power that he has and the reach that he has and how he could be a very scary person to a female, even to men. You know what I'm saying? Knowing how much power that he has, and knowing that he has
look
the
at all
ability
of
to
the
ruin
men
your
that
life.
he raped.
Yeah, because he has the ability to ruin.
I mean, it's like
someone's
100
life.
men that have come out.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
wild.
like once this is over, even if he gets off, God forbid, he is going to have civil cases for years to come. Years to come.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a
the way
violent
the system
rapist.
is, the
He's
way
a
the
violent rapist.
the way the legal system is, I mean, Diddy will probably do a year and a half in jail and get out and have to register with the Megan's Law. And
I
that's
doubt
it.
that
And that's
highly.
it.
If he gets jail at all,
And that's it.
I don't think it's
The
going to
time
be a
that
short
he's doing
period
in
of
jail
time.
now probably be the only time that he does, and he'll probably get off. And everybody will say he was innocent, but just because he did a year and a half and had to register with the Megan's Law does not mean he's innocent. It just means that the system is rigged for pedophiles and rapists.
That's a fact, and we know that.
And I know for a fact because I sat in court on my own cases and seen pedophiles with the victim there, and the judge only sentenced them to like a year and a half in jail. You know what I mean? Like 18 months in jail, and then when they get out, they got to register with Megan's Law. And then out of 18 months, you don't even do the whole thing. You do about like 9.5 months or something like that, maybe 10 months. And then you back on the street doing the same thing, but just registered as a sex offender.
Right.
Which is ridiculous. You know
Right.
what I'm
Well, what they're trying to do is legalize pedophilia, and they're trying to legalize sex crimes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
They're
whole
they're
situation.
just giving you a slap on
No.
the hand. It's because they're doing it too, and it's because they, and they're trying to demoralize society. Let's not forget, they're trying to. This is
Yeah.
what they've been doing with this whole trans movement, and I mean, just everything that's been going on.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with some of my homeboys, and they were saying that how they don't see where like the sex trafficking and all that stuff is, right? So I had to explain to them. I'm like, well, sex trafficking is, you don't like sex trafficking is not the same as human trafficking. You know what I'm saying? So human trafficking is kind of different. It's like, you get these people and you send them once you cross. Oh, when somebody comes from out of town, out of state to another state for you to pay for sex with them, that's sex trafficking. So all of the male escorts that they flew from different cities to wherever city that they was in is considered sex trafficking because they flew them in and then paid them for sex. You know what I'm saying? So that is considered sex trafficking. Now, Diddy he's a well. I mean, I heard stories about like his neighbors would say things like it was busloads of like underage girls pulling up to his house, and they were just like getting off the bus like a gang of underage girls.
There were children at his party. So many people said they saw children just wandering around.
Yeah, I mean it's.
But see, that's the thing. Like, they're not talking about the demonic things, the rituals, and they're not talking about the children because they were involved too. The higher ups were definitely involved too. And I mean, I don't know. There are a lot of different schools of thought on it, but personally, I believe that probably there were some higher ups that were paying him or forcing him to make these videos and to record everything so they could sell it. I mean, one of the girls that filed a case against him she got raped by him and two of his security guards and woke up getting raped. Right? She got drugged, gave her one drink, last thing she remembers, right? And came to find out that this tape was sold on the market and it was up on websites for 20 years.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So there's definitely more to the story, and whatever happened, I mean, we've talked about this before. I mean, I truly believe he stepped out of bounds with somebody, because they put him up to half of this stuff at least. You know what I'm saying? Half of this stuff they put him up to.
Right.
So why now all of a sudden is he going to jail when they knew he was doing this the whole time? The feds knew it. Everybody knew it. The judges were in his pocket.
Right. I mean,
why are they no longer in his pocket?
Right.
What happened? What did he do?
That's what I always say. I always say he either, he either pissed off the wrong person and they making his life miserable, and or he just like he got too. I believe he might have got too big for his britches, and
I mean, I definitely believe that it could have been that.
and he got out of control, and he was out of control.
He was very much out of control.
And then the people that because I don't think Puff is. I don't think he's like the ringleader, but I believe that it's I mean, you have what's his name, Jeffrey Epstein. You got Diddy. I mean, you got the guy from Abercrombie and Finch. You got I believe it's a lot. You got I mean, Jamie Foxx. Like all of these guys, they throw these parties,
right?
And they all have these secret little cliques and things that they do after hours. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that at some point Diddy made a wrong move. He said the wrong thing, did the wrong thing, and became out of control. And this is the only way that they can slap him back down to reality. Maybe
Jamie Foxx was higher on the food chain than he was, because Jamie Foxx was the one that called the feds, right? But also, at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you what it also could be, and I lean towards this one. Whether or not he got too big for his britches or pissed off the wrong person, and now he's in this boat, I believe, and well, I know this for a fact, whatever the devil gives you with the left hand, he takes away with the right. And God said, that's enough.
Yeah, man. I mean, the trial's still going. And, we don't know. Me personally, I don't believe Diddy's innocent. I used to always say, oh, we don't know. But I mean, we know this guy he's a creep, and he deserves every bit of what he gets. You know what I'm saying?
He's definitely gross. However, the worst part about this is, I'll just say this before we wrap it up, that he has spent almost $1 million on PR, let's call them PR, quote unquote. These people that have fake accounts set up that are going on all the websites and all the blogs and sticking up for him. So they'll have people saying, Diddy's innocent, or Cassie's a slut. Cassie just was in it for the money, and right. Starting all these arguments online everywhere. So that's what they do. They try to sway public opinion, right, and make you think, oh, all these people think that.
Right.
So maybe he is innocent, and they make you start questioning what you believe. And
yeah, he's not innocent.
Yeah, he's using psychology. And then all the people with the free Puff hoodies outside the courtroom.
Nobody's screaming free Puff. Let's make this clear.
Well, I got to tell you,
one person in the world screaming free Puff. That's it.
Right. Well, listen.
You don't even know his name, but he's a weirdo.
Is it who I think it is?
I don't know. It's only one guy.
Right. Well, I mean, I lived uptown for 5 years.
In Harlem. He's the one guy.
Okay, let's not go there. But I lived uptown for 5 years, and I can tell you, there are so many Diddy water boys. I mean, It is just absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
And because I see them on my page, because they're all still my friends,
it's rough.
And it's just really sad how pathetic they are. They really need help.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, man. So, hey, that's I'm Bo Skaggs. I'm along with the #1 host on the internet, Big Joe Show, aka Jody P.
That's me.
And this is Sneakers and Fur Coats. And
thank you, Bo Skaggs.
And we're out of here.
Peace.